All right, are we on? Are we seeing me?
I don't know.
All right, I think we're on, Todd.
Is it pointed at me or is it pointed at you?
It's pointed at you.
Oh, it's pointed at me. Okay. Well, it's Friday and we're live on Facebook. So what does that mean, Amanda?
Facebook Live Friday.
Indeed, and we are here on the second floor of our downtown building. I'm Todd, joined as always by the Bonnie to my Clyde and the Jekyll to my Hyde. Amanda, say hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And we're also joined by Caitlin, who's not in the shot. Joining us today, our special guest is Justin from our engineering department. Thanks for coming out with us today.
Hello, everyone.
What we kind of want to talk about today is the growth of the city. It's still going strong despite a lot of other things that are going on right now. And one of the big developments that we all know about and are all excited about is what's going on at Mid-City. And I know that here our company and the engineers have a lot to do with that. So can you kind of give us a little bit of background about how we're involved in that, what we're doing, things like that?
Sure. We're involved with the Mid-City project. I'm involved with the Mid-City project specifically for water. But we have all
What do
sorts
you
of...
do? Introduce yourself. What do you
Okay.
do here? And speak up because we're having, we want to make sure everybody can hear.
Gotcha. My name is Justin York, and I'm an engineer in the water department. I do anything from cost analysis with developers and contractors to troubleshooting customers and helping them with any type of issues that they may have with their water system, whether it be low pressure, meter leaks, and helping them diagnose any issues that they may have with their residential service.
Excellent. Now let's talk about Mid-City.
All right. Mid-City, the main role that I'm playing in Mid-City would be giving the developers and the contractors a cost and a layout of what's going to be required for their water distribution system. The different companies and businesses that are coming to Mid-City, they are expecting fire protection. They need domestic water, and some of them have irrigation that they need to water the grass around the areas of those buildings. So we are integral in the planning of making sure that they have enough water and making sure that they have water service to their prospective buildings.
And I don't know how much you can say because I know there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been publicly announced about what's going on out there. But it's a sizable operation that you guys are involved in.
The website says that they will be eventually, once it's all built out, they'll be the 12th largest commercial and mixed use area in the country. So it's pretty huge.
And so you heard about a lot of the stuff that you do is probably before even the shovels hit the ground. I would assume.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions that you get from the people who want to build out there.
One of the main things that we run into is just trying to make sure that we can meet their demands, and most of the times it is something that's worst case scenario because they never know what they might need if a business leaves and someone else moves in, then they want to make sure that their water service is adequate. So we look at everything from fire flows, and that would be considering what type of pressure they have, static and residual pressure, flow rates, gallons per minute from the fire hydrants. So just trying to make sure that we have planned sufficiently enough to provide water to that development or whatever future needs that they may have.
And I would think there's also a little bit of, and I'm not an engineer by any stretch of the imagination, but I would think there's got to be a little bit of, there's a lot of buildings, although they're not in Mid-City, they're close by, and they're probably impacted by all this as well, their water flow and supply. So
they are. And that's another thing that we have to look into when we consider planning and future use and future demand on our system. We have to consider what may come, what's there now, and how they're using their water, and how the future tenants plan to use their water. So that's a big part of the planning process, is just making sure that our system is prepared for any type of demand that may come in the future.
And considering what was on that site before, the old Madison Square Mall, is a lot of that infrastructure that's already there. I'm like I say, I don't know how old Madison Square Mall was when it was finally torn down, but how much of that is incorporated into what's going on now, or is all that scrapped, or how did the fact that there was not, it's not new development, well, it is new development, but there was something there before, how did that impact?
So, looking at my the documents that I would say my research, but pretty much just the documents that we pulled up from the past when Madison Square Mall was built, I would probably say it may be about as old as I am. So, 33, 34, 35 years old. I'll be 34 in July, but I think that Madison Square Mall was built in the mid 80s, is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
But a lot of the things that were there, you're a tech guy, so you get into tech a lot, and you know, Apple just had a announcement on WWDC where they talked about building their system from the ground up.
Right.
In this case, we are building that system from underground up.
Right.
So we had to take out everything that was there for the existing water services that fed the Madison Square Mall. Most of the things that were in Madison Square Mall, you had plenty of retail, of course, because it's a mall. They had a food court, so a few restaurants, but nothing as impactful or as that will require as much demand as Mid City. You have several brick and mortar restaurants and businesses that will require a lot more water than Madison Square Mall required. A lot of those stores maybe only had a water fountain or a couple of bathrooms. So in this case, we have multiple buildings that have multiple bathrooms, multiple kitchens, and things of that nature that will require water, and not to mention the individual fire protection demands that were going to be placed on the new buildings for Mid City. So it's been a total restructure overhaul of the water. Mm-hmm.
And I would think that, again, this it's an assumption, that a lot of that, what?
Go ahead.
Oh, a lot of that technology, water-related technology out there, has probably a lot of newer, more efficient stuff now than there was when Madison Square Mall was built, as far as like fire protection and things like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but
so the type of pipe that we use, ductile iron pipe, we've been using that for a while, and that pipe will stay in the ground for a good amount of time and last long before after we're gone. So the pipe is sufficient, and it will last, and it's very sturdy. One of the other things to consider is the things that may have changed and been upgraded would be the type of meter that we install, the efficiency of those meters, so they're more accurate. We won't be running into any issues when it comes to water consumption or customers not knowing if their meters are accurate. These meters are very accurate, down to 99 point whatever percent, but they're pretty close to 100% accuracy when it comes to water consumption.
I got a question.
Sure.
So, what about obviously you're handling the water stuff. So how does engineering work when you're talking about, all the other services, the electricity that's got to be run and the natural gas? Do you guys kind of do you just wear the hat of water, or do you sometimes wind up wearing the hat of natural gas and electric?
Because I work with Huntsville Utilities, a lot of times the developer or contractor may assume that I do multiple and work in multiple departments, but I think the benefit is that we all are under one roof. So it makes it easier to communicate and coordinate with the different utilities as far as electric and gas and maybe fiber. But when it comes to other utilities, like a lot of people think that Huntsville Utilities does sewer as well, or storm, but that's with the city of Huntsville. So we have to coordinate and communicate with those guys and make sure that we are out of the way and they're out of our way, and we're all in our respective places. But every department and every utility has I would say a standard or a specification of where we usually go. Sometimes water is under the sidewalk. We're usually off away from the road. It's very rarely will you see a water main in the middle of the road. That spot is reserved for the sewer department, sometimes a storm drain. So we all have our niche on where we're located when it comes to positioning and coordination to make sure that we're not stacked on top of each other. So But the coordination part, we communicate with one another. We look at plans. We review our managers and supervisors, make sure that they have thoroughly discussed our preference when it comes to location. So we try to stay out of each other's way and work together as a family.
Yeah.
Caitlin, any questions you have, or no questions?
No.
You got nothing? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's all pretty cool. I've been out to that area a few times. I'm sure most of you have too. It's really impressive out there, and it's only going to get bigger, and that's great. Great for us as a city, and great for us that live here and have fun things to go do. Anything else related to water or anything in general that you want to bring up and talk about?
I think it's something for the Huntsville Utilities family and Huntsville community as a whole to be proud of, to know that we're bringing such a large venue and a large area establishment to this region. And one fun fact about Huntsville Utilities water system, we were the first water system west of the Appalachians back in 1823. And right now we serve millions of customers, and I did education days with the 4th and 5th graders a few years ago. And for those of you that don't know what education days is, we invite some of the schools in the area to come down to our electric operations on Jordan Road, and they take a tour of the facilities, and we teach them about our different water systems and gas systems and electric operations and things of that nature. But one of the slides that I had in my presentation was that at that time we had over 3,000 miles of pipe, and that would get you from New York to Miami. So that is what's buried underground here in Huntsville. So that's another fun fact. So our system is very robust. Our system is very it's very efficient, and we work daily to make sure that we're giving you guys the best water service possible.
And our water system's won a lot of awards too for all
Yes.
that too. And if any of you came down to while the bicentennial celebrations were going on, we had a display in our lobby, and part of it is still there, of some of the original cedar logs from the 1800s when they were pumping the water through hollowed out cedar logs, and it's really cool to see. And talking about all the miles of pipe underwater, that's we say this all the time, or underground rather. Call 811 before you dig. Give us 3 business days, because we don't want anybody hitting. There's water, natural gas, there's electrical equipment, there's communications equipment, and you don't want to hit that at all, because it's you don't want to inconvenience yourself or your neighbors. And what else we got, Amanda? What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about what's been happening this week on our social media.
Oh, well, the post there were 2 posts that really got a lot of attention. The first one was on Monday morning, and it was a picture that I found just perusing the internet one night, if I may use the word peruse so early in the morning, of a utility pole that was right in the middle of a road.
Oh, I love that
That
one.
was pretty interesting. It was like like a foot off the center line.
That was not here.
No, it was in Canada. It was in Canada, actually. And someone commented that there's a gentleman named Kevin Underhill who runs a website called loweringthebar.net. I think it's .net. Yeah, .net. And he actually has the full story of that utility pole. And if you go back to that post, it was Monday morning. You'll find a link to that in the comments, and it's really interesting. I went and read it, and it's pretty interesting. Depending on where you're located, on average, a utility pole should be anywhere from 4 to 6 feet off the curb, and it looks like they went 4 to 6 feet in the wrong direction. But yeah, everybody liked it. That was kind of cool. And there's another post that got a lot of attention from everybody, and we just want to give a shout out to Mr. Ronnie Bowles, who retired from our electric board after 39 years. It's longer than you've been alive. He's been with us. We appreciate the service that he provided, the support and the leadership that he gave us. And we also want to welcome Ms. Kim Lewis, who will be taking his place. That was approved last night at the Huntsville City Council meeting. So thank you, Mr. Bowles, for, I know he's not on Facebook, but his daughter is, and maybe she can pass along our best wishes to him. And welcome to Miss Lewis as well.
He's looking at me like I'm going to say something.
I usually forget something, and you say you forgot to say this or that.
Nothing. I got nothing.
Okay. Well,
You've left me speechless.
Oh well, I've done my job. So we want to thank everybody for watching today. As always, if you have a question or a comment or something you would like to see us discuss on Facebook Live Friday, you can post a comment, send us a message through any of our social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We have a YouTube channel that we have a lot of fun with.
I archive all of these on YouTube.
Yeah, all these are archived on YouTube, so you can go back to our YouTube channel and see any Facebook Live Fridays you may have missed. Like the one where I poured hot water on Caitlin. That was a fun one.
She had no idea.
Yeah, she didn't know what was coming on that one, but yeah.
Don't be around Todd when he has hot water in his hand.
That one didn't quite go as planned. We were trying to be all Mr. Wizard, and we ended up being Mr. Scalding Hot Water. And happy birthday. You said your birthday's next month, so we say happy birthday to Justin.
Appreciate it.
And I do want to mention real quick, there will not, and Amanda probably hadn't thought of this, there will not be a Facebook Live Friday next Friday.
Oh, why?
Because next Friday is July the 3rd.
Oh.
And that Saturday is July the 4th, and us, like many other companies, will be closed on July 3rd.
That's right.
So we won't be doing Facebook Live Friday.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense to do it on Thursday because you lose the alliteration.
Yeah, Facebook Live Friday
So,
and Thursday.
Unless anybody has anything else they'd like to,
No? Thanks.
to say?
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
for having
Thank
me.
you.
I really enjoyed it.
And what?
We're out of time.
That's
but-
it? Oh, yeah. Well, I had a song I was going to sing, too, about the importance of water, but we're out of time, so I can't do that. So thanks, everybody, for watching. And this is Todd for Justin, Amanda, and Caitlin, who's not in the shot, reminding you that you can't spell utilities without you.